your smartphone brand, but just kind of roll your eyes at another? Or why do you always grab that same bag of coffee almost on autopilot? You're just bombarded with ads, what your friends say, a million online reviews, all this noise. And yet somehow you pick a favorite. It feels like a gut instinct, doesn't it? But is it really? Let's dig in and see what's actually driving those choices. Well, it turns out the key to this whole puzzle is one single powerful force. A force that marketers spend millions, probably billions, trying to understand and, influence. And that force is called your attitude. So what in the world is an attitude, really? It's not just a mood. Think of it more like your brain's ultimate shortcut for making decisions and for getting through the day without having a meltdown in the cereal aisle. Okay, so let's break that definition down because it sounds a little academic, right? A learned predisposition. The key word there is learned. You are not born loving a certain brand of car or hating another. You learn it. And to respond in a consistently favorable or unfavorable manner, that just means it pushes you to act the same way time after time. That's why your choice for coffee or sneakers can feel so, automatic. It's basically a mental habit you've built up. So, here's the bottom line. An attitude isn't some fleeting feeling that changes with the weather. It's enduring. It's built from your experiences, from information, from what people tell you. And because of that, it's a pretty darn good predictor of what you're going to do next. And maybe the most important thing to remember, it's not baked into your DNA, it is learned. To really get this, we have to pop the hood and look inside. Every single attitude you have, whether it's about politics, people, or products, is built on 3 core parts, all working together. So think of it like a 3-step process. Step 1 is all about your feelings, the affective part. This is your gut reaction, that emotional hit. That then informs step 2, your beliefs, the cognitive stuff. This is what you think you know, the facts and details you've stored away. And when you mix those two together, your feelings and your beliefs, you get step 3, your intentions, the cognitive part. And that's what you're actually planning to do about it. For instance, if someone says, "I love fuel-efficient cars," that isn't really a technical statement about engineering. It's a pure feeling. It's that affective component we just talked about. It's the emotional engine that starts this whole train moving, way before you even start comparing miles per gallon or anything like that. So, okay, why do our brains even bother with all this? I mean, why have attitudes at all? Well, they're not just taking up space. They're actively working for you, serving some really practical functions that honestly make navigating the world a whole lot easier. Just imagine for a second if you had to research every single item in your grocery cart, every single time you went shopping. You'd be totally exhausted, right? Attitudes are those mental shortcuts. They save you from that pain, guiding your choices so you don't have to overthink absolutely everything. Now, one of the most fascinating functions is what's called ego defensive. Your attitude towards a product can literally defend your self-image. For example, an attitude about an expensive watch might help protect you from a feeling of low status. But get this, it's not just about luxury stuff. Your attitude toward deodorant does the exact same thing. It protects you from the social anxiety of, having embarrassing body odor. They're both defending your ego. So to sum it up, your attitudes are doing at least 3 big jobs for you. The utilitarian function is all about getting a reward, like buying a TV that you know is reliable. Then there's the value expressive function, which lets you show the world who you are, like buying something from a brand you think is ethical. And, as we just saw, the ego defensive function protects your self-image from all sorts of anxiety. Okay, so if attitudes are this important and this powerful, you can bet that marketers want to get inside your head. And they don't just guess. No way. They use some pretty sophisticated models to actually map your attitude, turning all those fuzzy feelings and beliefs into cold, hard data. Let's walk through this table, because this is where it gets really cool. Imagine you're buying a car. First, you decide what's most important to you. See that weight column? In this example, design is a huge deal, so it gets a heavy weight of 3. Fuel efficiency, not so much, so it only gets a 1. Simple enough? Next, you rate each brand on those attributes. You think brand C has a killer design, so you give it a 5. And now for the magic. You just multiply the weight by your rating. So for brand C's design, that's 3 times 5, which gets a score of 15. You do that for every single box, and then you just add them all up.
And the final scores are in. With a whopping 24 points, brand C is the undisputed winner. And just like that, a really complex personal attitude, all those feelings, beliefs, and priorities, gets translated into a single number that can actually predict a real-world choice. It's pretty amazing.
But here's the thing. A map like this isn't just for predicting what you'll do. It's a battle plan. Once marketers understand your attitude, they can start trying to change it. And this, my friends, is where things get really, really interesting. So marketers basically have 4 major plays they can run. First, they can try to change your beliefs to boost their own score. Second, they can try to change your beliefs about a competitor to sink their score. Third, and this one is super clever, they can try to change the weighting. They try to convince you that the one attribute they're amazing at is actually the most important thing of all. And the final, ultimate play? Introduce a completely new attribute to the game, one that, surprise, surprise, only they can win.
So the next time you find yourself reaching for that brand of coffee or, getting into a heated debate about why your phone is the best, you'll know what's happening. It's not just random. It's the hidden logic of your attitude running the show. And now that you know the code, now that you've seen behind the curtain, the real question is, when you make